Okay, hello again everyone. Welcome back to Shay's Hobby Bang. This is Friday, September the 7th, 2018, 4:10 p.m. in the evening time. I don't have my Gracie. I only had her for a little while this morning, or today, whatever. Katie's done come got her. I have a gnawing headache, so I'm trying not to talk as loud. Also, Elizabeth's home and they're in her room. It's another reason I'm trying not to talk as loud. I think she's sick in there. She's coughing and she sounds like she feels horrible. Anyway, and this is another booktube video. I don't quite have my camera fixed right, I don't think. No, though. Anyway, this is to let y'all know. Let's see, the last... Okay, I think it was in my August wrap-up, September TBR, that I had showed y'all that I was going to be reading this book, or I may have already started reading that book on my phone book, A Will to Murder. Now the last booktube video I put up, I was letting y'all know, because see, I've been making these ahead of time. I don't really like that. I'm going to try not to do that. I want to try to stay up to date on my booktube videos and on other certain videos. But then there's certain videos that I don't mind doing and having a lot in stock waiting on me. So anyway, the last one, I had showed y'all that I had finished reading the Marigold book, and then that I had also started, read, and finished the other phone book of Ashes. And so this was my next one to search and find to read. The name of it is A Will to Murder. It's by Catherine D. or Day Winter, however you do that. And KJ, that E, I think I had said I thought it was Emery, but it's not Emery. I think it's, I can't remember what it is. Sorry, y'all. I'm not good at this sort of thing. But anyway, especially when I have a gnawing headache. Anyway, this was a good book. I've done finished it, okay? And that's what I'm letting y'all know about on this. So I done told y'all a little bit about this, I think. This was where there was this school teacher, okay? And she was in school teaching her class. And so while she's teaching her class, she notices outside her door window that there's this lady out there in the hall, and just the lady's just looking in her class at her and waving at her and smiling and all. So she don't know who this lady is, so she tries to ignore her and go on teaching her class. But then she has a knock on her door. So her class is interrupted. She don't like for her class to be interrupted, so she has to stop, go to the door, and it's the, I guess it's the principal. I think they called him headmaster or something like that. I don't know all them kind of names like that. I only know principal. I don't know if headmaster and principal is the same thing or something different. I don't know. Anyway, so the guy introduced that lady in the hall that had been smiling and waving in at her to the teacher. Now the teacher's name, what is the teacher's name? Molly Wright. And so he introduces that lady to her and tells her that the lady has just moved to town and has got kids and trying to find a good school, the right school for her kids. So she wants to check out the teachers and the classes and, you know, how the teacher teaches the kids in that class. So she was asking if she could, like, sit in the class and observe this teacher, Molly Wright, teach her class. So of course, since the guy had brought her to her room and is introducing her, he don't mind her doing that, so she don't really like doing that, but she has to. So she lets the lady in. Now the lady's name, who did she say her name was? Because that was not her real name. Crap. My husband just drove up and me making a video. Anyway, I can't remember what she said her name was, but she didn't give her real name. So she does go in and sits in the back and sits through the class, but then after class, she talks to her, well, asks her, she says, there's something I need to talk to you about and want to ask you about. Can we go to a different place and do this? So her class was over, so she says, yes, let's go to the cafe and sit at a table. And she says, my classroom is fixing to be used by another teacher for another class, so let's go to the cafe. So they do, and they sit down at the table. And now remember, Molly, the teacher, has never met this lady before. She don't know her. She's a total stranger. Never seen her before in her life. So this lady is telling her that when she was coming into town on the train, I think it was a train, might have been a bus, that when she was getting off, she got bumped into and had dropped her stuff. And a file came open and a bunch of papers and stuff fell out. Well, she had had a necklace. No, was it a necklace? Let me think. I think it's a pocket watch. It was a pocket watch. So the pocket watch fell, but it had kind of like got covered up under all the papers, so she was trying to find it. Well, this man on the bus stoops down. She thinks he's just going to help her, so he is kind of helping her gather some papers, but then he picks up the pocket watch, and she thinks he's fixing to give it to her, and she's getting ready to thank him and all that for his generosity and help and all this kind of stuff. He just simply grins at her, puts it in his pocket, stands up, and walks off. So he stole it from her. This is the strange lady's story to the teacher, Molly. Okay? The strange lady produces a picture to Molly, and it's of the strange lady, and she's wearing the pocket watch. I think it's a necklace or something. So she can see, she's doing that as this is proof that this is my watch, and this guy stole it from me, and I want it back, and I know who this guy is. And she says, and I know they live in this big fine mansion, and I can't remember the guy's name now. This big fine mansion, the main man, which is an elderly man, his name is Alexander in the mansion, and they're real rich, and they kind of like, they support, what was it, they supported the schools and fairs that the school's gonna do. They give support with money and all this kind of stuff. So anyways, Molly, the teacher, knew of this family. She had never been to their house before, but she has dealt with them at the school, the money support, the donations, whatever, and all this kind of stuff. There's another word. I keep saying support, but I think it's another word that you do when somebody does that. I can't think of it right now. Anyway, y'all probably know what I'm talking about. So anyway, this lady, the strange lady, she's asking Molly, will you please go to their house? I know that somehow she knew Molly, and she knew what she did, and she knew how she was associated with them through the fairs and the money support and all that. So she asked Molly to go to their house, when she's talking to them about the fair stuff, and to just casually not let them know, but if she can find that pocket watch laying around somewhere, pick it up and stick it in her purse, and then bring it to her at her house. So she gives Molly her address. So Molly, they talk for a while. The lady talks her into it, so Molly agrees to do it. So after school, she goes to the house. She's let in, but things are funny there. The people's acting strange, and she never gets to see Alexander. She's supposed to talk to Alexander, the elderly man, about the school support, but she never gets to see him and talk to him. But she does see the pocket watch, and she does pick it up and puts it in her purse. So actually, while she's there, when she gets through talking to him and she's starting to leave, somehow or another they find that the pocket watch is missing, and they think she got it. So they actually stop her, and they actually look through her purse or dump her purse out or something. I can't remember. I think it's just looking through it. They don't see the pocket watch in her purse, so they don't think she got it. She knows she put it in there, though, so she's wondering, where's it at? Why didn't they see it? So they let her go. So as she leaves and walks down the road and gets away from the house down the sidewalk, she looks in her purse, and she's the type of lady that she's nervous about things. So she's always munching. She's always got bags of candy in her purse, and she's always munching on it. So she's kind of a chubby, overweight lady like me. Anyway, so she had a bag of candy in there, and it was like a caramel colored candy, and that was kind of similar, close to the color, the copperish color of the pocket watch. And it had actually, when she dropped it on her purse, it had actually fell into the bag of candy. And so they seen the bag of candy, but it was all mingled and mixed in the same color, and they didn't notice the watch in there with it. So that's how they didn't see the watch. So she did still have the watch. So she takes it out and she looks at it close. So she looks at the initials on it, and she sees that it has Alexander's initials on it. So she knows that it is his, that it is not the lady that has asked her to come get it. So she realizes, oh no, I have stolen this thing, you know. So now she's worrying about that. She goes to the park and sits on a bench. One of the cops of the town, she's kind of friends with. Not close friends, but she knows him, and they're friendly, and they smile, they talk, they interact with each other, but I mean, I don't know how to explain it. So anyway, he comes and sits by her. So evidently they had called him about the stolen watch. So he sits by her and he talks to her, and casually at first, and then he brings that up, and she don't say anything about it and all that. So now he's gone. She's got the address. She's going to the lady's house to confront her, you know, saying, I've got the watch, but this is not your watch. It's really theirs, because here's these initials on it. Why you made me steal this watch, and blah, 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 and see if she can sort this all out. It's kind of a weird, different book from what I'm used to reading in the Cozy Mysteries. Because, I mean, it was still, she was a stranger, and she comes to this teacher, and she asks her to go to this house and steal something for her and bring it to her. You know, and the teacher agrees to do this, you know. So that's just kind of weird to me about that. But anyway, so, she gets to the lady's house, and she finds her dead on the floor. But she also knows somebody else is there and has run off and drove off. She didn't get to see who it was or anything. Anyway, so that's how it starts out. So it's a mystery on who this lady really is, why she had Molly the teacher go steal this watch, who killed her and why, and the people acting funny at the house. So it just goes all through. I'm not going to be able to tell all details, but her and the cop, and they searching, and he's trying to keep being her friend, but he's also trying to find out what's going on and what she did. Did she steal the watch? Why? Blah, 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 blah. She don't tell at first. Finally, she comes around and tells him. He ends up having to stay at her house. I can't remember why now. I don't know if it was for protection, to protect her, or if the cops is just having him stay with her to see what all else she does, or to keep her from doing something else, or whatever. Anyway, they end up talking. She tells him. They work together, try to solve the mystery. Come to find out, the elderly guy, because actually the book did, I forgot about that part, the book did start out where the elderly guy, Alexander, in the mansion, the rich guy, ended up getting killed. Somebody, it didn't say who it was, but they were talking, and they had an argument, and then they were drinking something, you know, of course, and then he falls dead. So, you know, the guy had poisoned him. And there was, because he dropped his glass, and there was broke glass, and it seemed like there was something about a broke window, but maybe that was in the house with the lady. I can't remember. So anyway, they come to find out You know, Molly learns that Alexander had been killed. That's why they were acting funny in the house. She's trying to figure out how it connects with this lady. We'll come to find out this lady is a family member of that rich family in that home. Her name is really Virginia. Now, how was she Ken? She was Alexander's daughter. And then he has a son. What was his name? I think George. I can't remember everything. But then there was a wife, Alexander's wife, which was not their mom, because their mom had passed away, or maybe they had divorced. I can't remember every little thing, I'm sorry. And so he has this new wife, which later they find out they're not really married. But then they had this lawyer. It was the family's lawyer. So it just goes through, and they keep working on it, and Molly, the teacher, together with that cop friend, his name was Paul, they end up solving the mystery, and it was the lawyer that killed Alexander and Virginia, the daughter, and he was gonna embezzle the money. What it was after a little bit of money was something about the will. They changed the will. You know, the book's name is called A Will to Murder. And after the family members got their money from their dad, then whatever was left over, which was going to be a whole lot, was going to go to a charity. This is how the lawyer had talked Alexander into changing the will. And the rest of the money was going to go to the charity, which was the lawyer's charity that he liked. But yet, in the end, he was kind of going to, I guess the word would be, embezzle that money from the charity to have it for himself. So, but come to find out in the end, when they got it all solved, in the pocket watch, when they thought it didn't open because they thought it was stuck and hadn't opened for years. Well, they got it open. I can't remember exactly how they found this out, Molly and Paul, you know. They opened it up, and it was another will that he actually had changed the will to where it wouldn't, you know, go to that charity, so that the lawyer wouldn't get it, and the lawyer got put in jail and all this kind of stuff. So that's how that all ended and came about. It did end up, I'm sorry, I'm not good with telling, you know, a lot of details about how a book goes. Of course, really and truly spoilers, but maybe there's not too many spoilers with the way I don't remember and tell it. But people don't like spoilers. But I like to talk and tell about the book, what it was about, especially if it was a real good one that I really liked. Now, it was kind of an odd one. It wasn't a real good one, but it was good. I liked it. So, I finished that book. Alright, now, I have searched and looked up another book to read here. Let me see if I can find it. I don't think it's in this list. Let me see if I can look real quick, hopefully. So if it's not in this list, I may not be able to pull it up. Maybe I can, though, to read you all what it's about. Nope, it's not in this list. So, this is the book. It's called Maple Syrup Murder. Let me pull it up. It's by Grace Lemon. So let me see if I can, how would I do that? Okay, here we go. Maple Syrup Murder by Grace Lemon. And that's what it looks like. That's the book I've done started. I started it last night, so that's the one I'm on now. And I will tell y'all more about it later. I don't think I can actually pull the thing up to what it's about. Maybe next time I can later and tell y'all more about that later, because we're fixing to go to 20 minutes and I don't want to make a part 2 video. So that's going to be it for this one. But this is the book I'm reading on now in my phone book. I'm out of here until next time. I'm gone. Toodle-doo.